Hey family, thank you so much for watching. My name is Vaughn. If this is your first time watching, thank you so much for your love and support if you are a returning subscriber. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get straight to it in today's video. It is story time. So for some time I've been just praying, asking God for guidance on this channel on what to share. There's so many ideas and things that come up, but what I've gotten back to is what I originally have started this channel on, which is just sitting out talking to you guys, just talking about the things that God laid on my heart to share. So as of recently, I've been burdened to share, some of the things that God has been doing in my life personally, and also share some testimonies with you guys. And I'm going to be raw and unfiltered in this video. And myself, just like many of you that's watching, live a private life. We don't want our life out on the streets, our information and social media and things of that sort. But I'm an open book, so anybody that knows me personally knows that I'm a pretty transparent person. So I just decided, why not be obedient and share my story with you all and be as transparent as possible. So I'm gonna do my best to try to keep myself together, but I will be honest with you. I grew up, wanting my life to be a certain way. I was a young girl at some point in my life wanting, marriage, wanting children. And I'll be honest, my life did not turn out anything like I dreamed of it. Are there regrets? Yes. Decisions that I've made, but I don't hold that stuff over me. Like if I had a chance to go back and redo some things, I probably would. But I will say every decision that I've made, every mistake, every opportunity that came my way that I ceased, or things that I didn't participate in, all of that stuff navigated me to where I am today. And I will be honest with you, starting out, I need to share this part of my life with you all. It's pretty difficult, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's just some things that, bring shame at times, and you wish that you had a better story to tell at times, but I don't. But I am gonna be completely transparent and just share with you. I've been married twice. I'm not, proud of saying that I'm a divorcee or that I've been married twice. That's never something that would have crossed my mind, that I would ever, want to go down that path in life. However, I will say, because of some decisions that I've made the first and second time around, just being naive and marrying for all of the right reasons, led me to where I am today. I'm not in a bad place in my life, I will be honest. If I was, I wouldn't be able to have the courage and the strength to even share this with you. I'm in a great place in my life. I'm thankful for that. I have clarity, I have love, I have a strong foundation in my relationship with God, my family, my life, my family. None of these things are perfect, but I'm just in a great place. I also wanted to share, when it comes to love, still learning a lot of things when it comes to loving somebody else. I think I have a lot of love to give, but sometimes I think I don't know the true balance when it comes to those things. Also, when it comes to loving myself, I do feel like I've lacked in the past and pouring into me. So I've just been on this self-care journey over the last 6 to 8 months, just pouring into me internally and externally. And I was so used to wearing makeup, weave, and all of that stuff, and there's nothing wrong with it. I still will at times, but I am in a place in my life I'm so much more comfortable in my skin, my hair, things like that. And also, I would say internally, just working with a therapist has really helped me navigate some things that I didn't talk to anybody else about. You know, I mean, it was so much I just poured out to my therapist, and some things she kind of helped me focus on working on, and she said some stuff that stung. I remember when I first started, you know, talking with my therapist, and I at that time I had a strong desire to be in a relationship and all of that kind of stuff. And my therapist is single. I don't know how she do it, but she's a lot older than me, and she's a single woman with no children, and she's content. And at that time, I couldn't even imagine what that looked like, being content as a single woman for the rest of my life. It was hard. The advice that she gave me, it stung, but I needed that. I knew she was right. A part of me knew she was right, but it was a part of me that was screaming like, I don't I don't want to go down that path. But I did, because I was like, I don't want to continue to repeat the cycle that I had been on. So that internal self-healing journey has caused me to become content now with just being a single woman. Just, you know, I won't say independent, you know, not so much that, but just being content in being single in this season of my life, because it's so important to be whole and not have a fractured foundation. So that way, when if ever that opportunity came up, then, you know, yes, great, but not to get myself together for a relationship, but get myself together for me. I'm a mother, you know, I need to make sure that I have clarity in raising my child. Also, I've been in this space now where I've been focusing on my education, you know, my career. I got to a point where I was like, I want a career that I look forward to being a part of, and waking up going to work for a purpose that is actually fulfilling. There is no job, no career opportunity that will ever be completely satisfying. However, I do want something that I can be proud of. And so this time was something for me to focus on what's important to me, what are my values when it comes to just all of these aspects of my life. And it was difficult. The process of the healing journey in the very beginning is the hardest part. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Even now, like, you know, even though I'm content being single, there's still a part of me in my nature as a woman. Yeah, I want to be loved. I would love to go out on dates. I would love to have somebody, not, you know, just I could partner with in life, and, you know, we grow together, we build together, we have great time and memories and all of that kind of stuff. I would love that. However, if I don't have that, I'd rather not even be in a relationship. I'd rather not be in a relationship where it's not healthy, where we're not on one accord, or we don't really like each other, don't really genuinely love each other for all the right reasons. I'd rather be single where I am today. Anybody that comes into my life, I want it to be a compliment. I want it to be a beautiful situation, something worth my time. And it's been a while since I've been in this place where I truly felt like this. I get emotional because I feel like, you know, we rob ourselves of so much wasted time with people that are not meant to be along this journey called life with us. And I owe that to myself. You owe that to yourself, to make sure that you do your self-work, you're on your journey, and that you don't continue to waste time with an individual or people that don't belong in that journey alongside with you. Another thing too is that sometimes I wonder, you know, like, what should I be doing? So I'm constantly seeking God on direction and guidance. I don't have this one thing that I have a passion for when it comes to, you know, anything in life. When it comes to relationships, I don't have an idea of what person I would want. I have an idea of the qualities, the characteristics, and things like that. I know what I don't want. I know what I don't like. But as far as like the actual person, I don't know. Also, when it comes to to my career, I don't know exactly what I want to do. I've changed. I've changed that so many times because there's so many things I feel like I'm good at that I enjoy doing. So there's no one career that I would want to venture on. If so, it would be so much easier. I think I would have already figured that out and would have been on that path. But right now I'm just navigating every little opportunity space that comes along and just trying to, figure it out along the way. And I think that's okay. Sometimes when we get older and in life, we feel like if I haven't figured it out by this time at this age, and I'm a failure. But there's no failure in someone that continues to pursue and try. The failure is when you just settle. You settle. And I've done that for so many years, just settling, surviving. And God told me a couple years ago, he said, no more settling. No more settling. It's so easy to become content in a space you were just meant to be at for a short period of time. It was just supposed to be temporary. But you'll know when you're not supposed to be there because you'll feel stuck. When you feel stuck, that's not where you're supposed to be. Contentment doesn't mean I'm satisfied in this place because I can't grow from here. Contentment says I'm satisfied in a space that I see progress in. I'm going to continue to see growth and advancement in that space of the journey. That's what you want to become content in. You don't want to become content in a space where you see no opportunity for those things. I've had to stop seeking for validation and for acceptance in a lot of connections that I had, and I'm just trying my best not to be emotional, but I have to be completely honest with you. About a month ago from today, it's been a little bit over a month now, God led me to leave my job. Y'all, when I tell you oh my gosh, it was so not easy because it got really uncomfortable before I made the decision. I was so uncomfortable. It got to the point where I had no choice but to let go. It felt so foreign, but it got to the point where I knew it was going to be soon. Is when I felt like I was suffocating and I was forcing myself to do something that was completely against my will. I was like, God, I would go to God complaining, venting to him, pouring. I'm like, I don't want to be on this job no more. There's so many reasons. Oh my gosh, you guys. Like so many reasons why I did not want to be on that job anymore. But I felt like the only way to leave is if I had another job to go to. When I tell you I've tried every way possible, I went out of town over an hour drive for interviews. I was doing whatever possible. I was willing to move and relocate to the area if need be because I really was desperate, to make sure I had something lined up. But when I tell you, at first, I will be honest, I didn't think it was God telling me to leave my job. I just felt like, God, I just have to step out on faith and trust you. So when I did do that, I got so overwhelmed with emotions and I was scared. It was a scary feeling, but God has been sustaining me. I have yet to start a new job. I'm the only person that could work in my home. It's just me and my son. He's a small child. When I tell you God has been sustaining us, like he had things set up in place to where once I left my job, I was like, God, rent is coming up. How am I going to pay rent? I was able to pay my rent. Oh my gosh. And it wasn't from the income that I got from that job. That check was so much smaller because I left 2 days before that pay cycle ended. So I was short a few $100s than what I would normally get. Even if I had a full 2-week cycle of pay, it just wasn't going to be enough to pay the rent. But oh my gosh, like God sustained us, and He's still sustaining us. And I started wondering, like, God, I don't have a job yet lined up. I haven't really done any interviews just yet. I've just been applying for jobs. Lord, how am I going to pay this rent coming up? I got one more month here in this place that I live in, which is the month of July, which is next month, so I'll have to move out. But how am I going to pay for July's rent? And I'm like, well, God, just like you did it this time, you already have a way. You're going to do it next time. So I just have to trust you. Faith is like stepping out on water, trusting that God is going to be the foundation that you land on. At times it could be so uncomfortable, it could be so foreign. Sometimes you don't even have a guide, you don't even have, someone else's testimony or an example of what that looks like. The only thing you can rely on is the Word of God, and that faith is not something that you see with your naked eyes, that you don't have to have evidence, you don't have to have proof that God is going to come through. It's just a knowing that, God, you've done so many things for me before, you've been there before, and I know that you're not a God of failure, that you will sustain me, that you know all things, you hold my world in your hands, and I don't understand why it's being done this way, but God, I trust you. It doesn't make sense with my natural mind, and I'm an overthinker. I think a lot about stuff. I be trying to figure it out, but God sometimes put us in positions where it's not even about you figuring it out this time. It's not even about how you're going to get it done your way this time, but it's going to be solely on me guiding you every step of the way. It's like being completely solely dependent on Him, and it still doesn't make sense sometimes, but I just know it's God. So if you ask me how, God. But yes, you guys, so my encouragement from just being open and honest with you guys is that you just obey God. Obey God. Step out on faith. One thing I've learned from this is that God don't want us to suffer in things that He didn't call us to suffer in. You'll know when it's God, because you won't be miserable when you're suffering. Long suffering is a fruit of the Spirit. And sometimes you will suffer long. I do believe that the suffering that I'm dealing with now, not being able to work, being productive, everything, every day at something, that's long suffering, because some people take joy in not working. I don't. Sometimes I feel like I'm out of my mind at times, and I'm like, God, I need to do something. I'm constantly trying to figure out what to do, but sometimes God just wants you to sit still, because He's working some things out on the inside and around you, and He's trying to line some stuff up, and sometimes we have to wait, and waiting is not comfortable sometimes. Being patient is not comfortable sometimes. Don't feel good to have to wait, but I have to be obedient. I choose obedience. And like I said, it's not easy, but it's a part of bringing our will into alignment with His will. So if this is what His will looks like at this moment in this season, I have to surrender and say yes. If I want to be in God's will, the answer has to always be yes, God. God, I trust you. God, have your way. But yeah, I do believe that God has a job for me, a career path that He wants me to go on, some people that He wants me to be a blessing to, and that's more important than what I want, That when we give our lives to Christ, we have to say, nevertheless, not my will, but your will be done, God. Your will. So God, I'm sorry that I didn't trust you before. God, I'm sorry that I was trying to do it my way and not seeking your way. God, I'm so sorry that I've been doing it thinking it's my strength, and when I got weakened, I had to depend on your strength and realize it was your strength all along anyway. But yeah, so just be obedient. Be obedient. Oh my gosh. Your obedience will save you from a lifetime of stress and chaos. I mean, it was so chaotic And I was trying to hold on, being loyal to people that were not even giving me what I needed. But yes, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope this message was a blessing to you, and hopefully I can continue, you know, to have these moments and just be open about what God is doing in my life. And but yeah, so if you can resonate with this message, please leave a comment below. Tell me what resonated with you and how this was a blessing, how this may have given you a tool in your journey, and some things that may have strengthened your faith to realize that if you're at a place of standstill and you know it's God, just sit in it, rest in that moment, because rest doesn't look like what we think it looks like. Yeah, it's hard for me to rest right now. I'm still constantly moving around, and sometimes God will just put me into a sleep out of nowhere to rest, you know. But yeah, just remember when God put Adam into a deep sleep, he did something amazing with that. Yeah. So yeah, if he's doing that with you, it's okay, because there's something that's great that's going to come out of that. Rest is good, especially when God is behind it. Thank you so much for watching. If you have yet to subscribe, go ahead and subscribe and stick around for the next video, you guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.